So again, good evening and Happy New Year, everybody. Today I want to talk about the chanting that we have done this evening. We make this evening the chanting about Buddha Jaya Mangala Gatha. This is in bracket, it's 37 in our book. And this is very often we are chanting, it's coming after we're chanting the Itipiso, the Dajaga Sutta. And very often we chant this chanting. First, I want to explain what the meaning of Buddha Jaya Mangala Gatha. This is meant by the word Buddha, I think you understand. Okay. Jaya, Jaya, it means victory, winning, conquest, something like that, to defeat something, to overcome something. Mangala, Mangala, it's auspicious, or great, beautiful, wholesome, something good. And the word Gatha, Gatha, it means verses, or let's say song. Gati, Gati, it means to sing a song or to speak verse. So we get the verse of the Buddha's auspicious victories. Yeah, this is something I show about different kind of how the Buddha was winning different outside things, outside people or someone from outside. 8 kind of stories taken actually from the suttas, from the Tipitaka. This story, this collections, or this songs collection, they say it's created about 6 centuries. On the 6 centuries, something like in Thailand, some they say in Thailand, some they say in Sri Lanka. And like I said, this is something like 8 verses or 8 songs from different stories where the Buddha, he was winning outside sentient beings. This is in the bracket 37. 37 in the bracket, okay? This is something like the Buddha but he didn't use violence. He didn't use war. The Buddha used his faculties. The Buddha, to be Buddha, he have to develop faculties. He have to develop paramita, perfections. So, for example, he use loving kindness, he use compassion, he use wisdom, patience, to overcome the difficulties. Okay, so this is something like show how by the goodness the Buddha could defeat the bad. Also, we can say how we can by faculties overcome the hindrances. Okay, in this case, we are talking about the faculties of the Buddha, but against the outside hindrances of other people. But if we are taking this as example, as inspiration, it can show us how can we overcome also other outside conditions, like Lokadhamma, for example, and also how can we overcome our own hindrances from inside ourselves by the faculties, how the goodness can overcome the bad inside us or outside. We have to understand that the Buddha, to be Buddha, he have to develop this 10 paramita, we call it, 10 perfections. I will say what are the 10 perfections. The first perfection that the first paramita that we mentioned is the dana, giving, generosity. Okay. Another perfections It's the sila, keeping the virtue, the precept, purity. Another perfection, it's renunciation. In Pali, we call it nekama. Nekama, it means to let go on the way that I want to renounce, want to be monk, want to let go what I have, okay? And then the fourth one is mentioned panya, wisdom. Different kind of level of wisdom. Then we have effort, virya. And then the next one is, we have different 4 kinds of effort. And then we have patient. In Pali we call kanti. To wait, to bear some difficult. When we are in the struggling in difficult situations, we can wait. We don't. Normally we want to quit. We want to run away from some bad, difficult situations. Then the 7th one is what we call right speech. In Pali we say satya, to tell the truth. And then you have determinations, atitana, determined. I want to achieve something, I do my best, I will try to do it. Whatever will be, I will do it. And then we have love, this is the 9th, love, it's metta, loving kindness. Universal love, to love everyone, all the sentient beings equally. And then the 10th one is equanimity, upeka. But we have to consider that this paramita is every enlightened person have to build it. And we have 3 levels of paramita. If we talk about these 10 paramita, 10 perfections, every enlightened person have to build these 10 perfections. Everyone that wants to reach enlightened, we have to build it. So we have, first thing, it's called parami. For example, if we talk about dana parami. And this is the first level. What does mean dana parami? Dana is giving, okay? Generosity. But some people, they can give money. Some people, they give their house. They give whatever they have, car, they give, endless, they give. Even difficult, they give. King, sometimes, or whoever they ever talking about, giving wife, giving children, giving whatever you have, everything you have. Even something very, very auspicious for you, something very, very difficult to find, diamonds, you just let go, giving. So this is, for example, dana parami, okay? You give outside things. This is every enlightened person is actually training himself, he can do it. But we have something higher than this called dana upaparami. Okay, upaparami, it's higher perfections. And what is this upaparami? It's when you are capable, when you are possible for you to let go part of your body. Okay, any kind of part of your body. We mentioned, for example, when Buddha he gave his eyes to the blind man, 2 eyes. We give whatever, okay? So we give part of your body also. For example, when he built patient one time, the king ordered to cut part of the body. So he had a patient, and he said, the king asked him, what you are training? The king was jealous about them. Why all the people go to listen to this monk? Buddha was in a kind of monk in the past, and he give lecture. The people they was attracted to listen, and then they come. The king jealous. Why they come to this monk? They don't come to me. So he get angry. He asked the monk, "What you are doing? What you are teaching?" He say, "I teach patience." So the Buddha say, the king, he said, "You teach patient? Okay, I show you what is patient." He cut the end of the monk. He ordered the soldier to cut the end of the monk. So then he asked him, "What you are teaching?" He said, "I teach patient, honorable king. All the time, give them honor." So it's mean even cut the pieces of body, he still remain. So this remains sitting and don't complain, nothing, bear it. So this, for example, or like I said, Dana, he give his eyes, he give a part of his body. So to be Pachaka Buddha, it means Buddha, silent Buddha. This is Buddha, which the meaning is that getting enlightened, the normal enlightened person, he have a teacher. He must have a teacher. He must guide, someone must guide him. So during the time that someone teach him, he also building this paramita. But there is such things called Pachaka Buddha, which is silence Buddha. This is Buddha which is not teaching. Normally in the time that there is no any Buddha around the world, he will come because he knows exactly how to practice. Okay? He knows by himself how to practice. This will be only in the time that there is no really Buddha. There is no, what is it, Sammasambuddha. There is, we call it silent Buddha because he's not teaching. And that's why in Pali we say Pachaka Buddha. And Pachaka Buddha must build Upaparami, the second level. Okay? And then we come to the Sammasambuddhasa, which means self and fully. He knows everything, he's capable to teach everything. He have all perfections. So he have Paramata Upaparami. It means the higher perfection. And this is mean that it's possible for him even to give his own life. This is the third level of the parami. He gives for the things. For example, he have compassion to the tiger. The tiger was very, very hungry and almost died, and she had a baby. So Buddha at that time, he had some brothers follow him. So he knew that he saw the tiger starving, going to die. So he said to the brother, why don't you just go and look for the food? Actually, he knows that they cannot find the food. They will go, they will not find food. So, but he didn't want to let them to see what he's doing. So when they came back, they didn't see him. They looked down on the ground, down where the tiger was laying down there. And you see all his robe there and all the blood and the bones. So they understood that actually he sacrificed his own body for the tiger and the baby to eat. And it was so compassionate that actually the tiger was so angry and so tired that she cannot hunt. So what he have done, he cut himself and he gave pieces by pieces to the tiger. So they feed the tiger with his body because she cannot even eat him. So you need to help her how to eat, okay, to her and the baby. So this is, for example, this is the Sammasambuddhasa, we say. Sama, it means the fully, it means you know everything, all the universe, everything, you know how to teach, you have all the powers, everything. And some, it's self, by himself. Body, it's any kind of enlightened one, you can say a body, mean knowing, the one that knows, get enlightened. So it's with Sammasambuddhasa. It's fully and self-enlightened one. And this is Buddha that is teaching, for example, like Shakyamuni Buddha or Buddha. Okay? So this is 3 levels. And when we are reciting these kind of things, this is okay, before this, I will to mention that the Buddha, to develop this kind of perfection, parami, and to reach the stage of being Sammasambuddhasa or fully and self-enlightenment, he need to develop it a long, long time, many reincarnations, many eons. If we talk about this, the words, all the stars expanding, and then they come to the stage stopping, and then they come again, and boom, again. This is the same like the scientists. So all these, it's long time. And many of this time, the Pachaka or Buddha, you have to reborn and to build again and again this param. So in the books, for example, it's mentioned only 547 stories. This is called the books of the birth. And this is Jati. Jati, it means birth. Okay? So the book called Jataka. And in the Jataka, it's mentioned only 547 stories from all these millions of reincarnations that Buddha has to reborn again and again till he became Buddha. Okay? In our Sutta, Mangala Sutta, there's only 8 stories. It's mentioned from all the things what happened with the Buddha, only 8 stories. And this is different story. It shows different quality of the Buddha. How the Buddha used different quality from this, what he developed. So he can, I would say, defeat. But normally when we talk about defeat, we talk about war, fighting. But he understands that people, they are fighting, people, they are going against, people doing stupid things because of ignorance. And the Buddha don't go with ignorance to their either sentient beings or creatures or human beings or whoever it is, stupid, want to fight. So the Buddha, he gives the contra, the opposite, by the positive things, by his positive quality. So this is how he defeats them. For example, I will go one by one story only to show you what quality the Buddha used. But before, I think 1 year ago, I go through all the sutta in one talk. But this I don't want to do it now. I will try, how much I get, I get. Every week we will talk about some stories. If we can get 1, we get 2, or whatever it will be, we see how. Today I try to explain about overview about the Mangala Sutta, and if I can go into the first story, I will then mention the first story. Okay? But anyway, I just go shortly, one story by one story, to mention which faculties the Buddha used to defeat what. For example, the first story that maybe we will read it today, we will talk about this today, it's when the Buddha is victory over Mara. Because in the moment that the Buddha was sitting meditation, before he get enlightened, he was bodhisattva. And the Mara come and attack him. Mara is angels that want to block us to stay in the samsara. And then he come to the Buddha and he tried to convince the Buddha that he don't qualified to get enlightened. So the Buddha said to him that in the past life, I make many generosity, many giving. I make a lot of dana. I already complete a lot for my perfections. Okay, and he used the dana, for example, and then he touched the earth. This is the very famous story that you see the Buddha touching the earth. He said, the earth is my witness that I make a lot of giving. It means that by the giving, the Buddha, he could defeat Mara. Okay? The generosity. In the same time, when we talking about right speech, he's using the confidence that he have, okay? And like I said, the generosity. But this is the main topic they're talking there about this quality of the Buddha. The second story will be about conquering or winning Alabaka Yaka. Yaka, he was very strong demon, like kind of angels, very fearful demon, very fearful demon called Yaka. And the Buddha, he just used his patience in this case. When we talk about this story, I will explain what it was there. I just want to mention about the short, what is the story and what the faculties that the Buddha used. So in this case, he used the patient because Yaka, Alabaka, all the time, he wanted to hurt the Buddha. But he told him, oh, now you go away, now you come back, now you go away, now you come back. So the Buddha just go and come. Say, okay, whatever come, whatever you want, I will do. And then the Buddha, he show him, no, this way the Buddha teach it. Something like that. Okay, so he used in this case patience and in mixing with loving kindness. Okay. And also something like wisdom, very well trained of patience. So this will be the second story that I think today we will not do it, but anyway, I mentioned it, all of them. The next one is training the elephant. Narakiri. Narakiri is uncle for, no uncle, the cousin of the Buddha. He wanted to kill the Buddha, to send the Vedanta. He sent the elephant, very frightened elephant, to the Buddha, and the Buddha he train him or stop him or prevent him to attack by this that he just sent them the loving kindness. In the moment that actually the elephant he feels the loving kindness of the Buddha say, here there is no dangerous to you. So what happened is that he remembered his mother when they just took him out. He was a very big elephant. So the people, they took him out from his mother. In the moment that they took him out from his mother, it hurt him. He became very violent. So they used the people, they see this violent elephant. But in the moment that the Buddha, he give him the loving kindness, it's make him reflect about the behavior of his mother to him. He say, here there is no dangerous to you. So that's why he obeyed to the Buddha. He stopped. And then he bowed down to the Buddha. Oh, someone loved me. At least I can get love from someone. So this is the third story. The fourth is how the Buddha defeat Angulimala by supernormal power. Okay, he thinking about he have compassion to Angulimala, and he see that Angulimala is going to kill his mother because he killed 1,000 people, 999 people. So the Buddha used his power, concentration power, and he moved his body very fast. And Angulimala very strong, trying to run after the Buddha to catch the Buddha, but he cannot catch the Buddha. And how much he running? You don't understand this monk walking very silently, very, very nicely, but I cannot catch him. Then he fell down and he started to shout to the Buddha, stop, stop. The Buddha said, I stop. You never stop. So then he said, what the meaning? I never stop. You are walking. You tell me that you stop. I fell down on the floor. You tell me that I'm continuing. The Buddha said to him, you never stop the killing. Okay, the destroying. I stopped it already. I'm out of this stupid game. So then Angulimala, he understood because he was a very reasonable person actually. Okay, but the situation, so by power of the concentration, the supernormal power, the Buddha can use this trick that his body walking very slowly, but he moves fast. So Angulimala cannot catch him. So it's something like shake Angulimala. Yeah? This is the fourth story. The fifth story will be how the Buddha proved or defeat Chincha Manowika. The woman, she pretend I'm pregnant. Why you make me pregnant? You don't want to take responsibility for your child. So then the Buddha, he keep quiet. He don't answer anything. She put some wood in her body to show something like pretending I'm pregnant. Okay, so she come in the front of many, many people and blame the Buddha. So the Buddha just keep quiet, let the things happen till the instrument, the wooden instrument that was in her belly, pretending that this is big belly from the baby, so fell down on the legs. So this is show how the Buddha, by neutrality, by equanimity, okay, serenity, he was not acting anything. Otherwise, start to complain to her, why you blame me? Normally we are shouting each other. Why you say to me like this? And then we'll keep quiet. But this instrument fell down, and then everybody, in the front of everybody saw what happened with her. Wow, she's telling lies. She's cheating. Okay? So this show how the Buddha teach her by silence. Then the sixth story is how the Buddha is winning Sachaka, the debater. He was debating, okay? He liked to argue very much. And the Buddha, by wisdom, he using wisdom with in the argument, how to argue with how to talk to the Sachaka, which were very proud, talking foolish things, but very, very proud. And the Buddha was intelligent and with wisdom, he defeating Sachaka. Okay? And then the seventh story, it's the mighty Naga king, the name is Nandopadanda. He's a Naga, very, very frightened Naga, snakes, very big snakes. And by the also supernormal power, actually the Buddha himself don't do it. This is, he sent Mahamugalana. Mahamugalana was the most powerful concentrating students of the Buddha. So he asked Mugalana to go and to show to the mighty Naga that actually the power of the concentration of the enlightened person, they are much more stronger than them. Okay, so this will be the seventh story. How Buddha defeat Nandopananda. And then the last one, the eighth one, is how the Buddha is winning Baka Brahma. Okay? And he used by the medicine of the knowledge. Okay? Eye wisdom. Supernormal power also. Because in this moment, Baka Brahma, he think he's a god. He create the world. Because Brahma, he stay long, long time alive in his stage. And the Buddha, he show him about the power of concentration. He say, if you want, you are the God. You can do everything you want. But the Buddha, he uses strong power of concentration when he just stand on the top. But Bhakavama, he never can see where is Buddha. And then after he come back, he say, I didn't see you. He say, I all the time was making walking meditation on the top of your head. But you are God, why you don't see me? You can see everything. Okay? So this is the eighth story. I just told you the shortcut because I wanted you to see what kind of power the Buddha using, or knowledge the Buddha using, or parami Buddha using for each one. But all these stories, they are coming from the Tipitaka, from the story of the Buddha. It's like collection. The collection that any monk, I don't know, it's like a commentary, or monk from Sri Lanka or Thailand, they create this song. At the end, the ninth verse, it will be that there it's written like this. It's written that if someone will sing every day, sing this chanting every day with a faith and wisdom, he will overcome any dangerous trouble, obstacle, and it will lead him to attain the bliss of deliverance, of nirvana. Okay, why? Because this actually is developing like a systematic development of confidence, of faith. When you see the Buddha as example, you see the Buddha as it's giving impression or inspiration. Okay, an example how you, if you walk on the Dhamma, what quality you can develop that it will help you to overcome any difficulties. Something like inner development. So it encourages you when you see example of the main teacher, how he act when he get into difficulties from outside and of course from inside. So it's give you inspiration how, oh, I also want to, no need to go all the time with anger, or go with fighting, to defeat inside and outside conditions. Also, so it will encourage you, give you example. That's why it's that if you are using this, reading this, so it's inspire you to development. That's why actually every verses that we are reading, it will finish with a sentence, by the power of this victory, Okay? May I get blessing and victory. Okay? So it means that I'm wishing for myself that I will have the inspirations to have the victory by myself, to have the wisdom and the blessing by myself. That these things that I'm reading now will help me to self-development. So that's why, okay? This is every sentence we are repeating like this and this. And then at the end, or the last sentence, which is not anymore, it's the sentence of quality of the Buddha. It's just saying that if anyone will read it, it will influence on them to self-development. So this was something like I talked about overview about the sutta itself. I think we have some more time. So what we do, we go to the first verses. Okay, we go and we touch only the first verses, which is Sima, you are there?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, wonderful. Can I ask you to read? For example, we start first with the sutta. You have the book with you, or
no? I have no book. Yeah. What? Which one?
I just want the first verses.
But which book?
The chanting book. The chanting book.
Yeah, I have to open.
Never mind. This one I will read by myself, and then I will share with you the source where it's coming. Okay, we are going to talk about the first verses. The first verse is actually talking about, before I mentioned it, the first one, how the Buddha is overcoming Mara. This is the story talking about the moment that the Buddha, just shortly before the Buddha gets enlightened, he's still Bodhisattva. He's sitting under the tree, the Bodhi tree in Bodh Gaya, and he finding the way, how should I get enlightened? And suddenly he realized I should get enlightened through the middle way. But in this moment, what happened is that Mara is just coming, and he realized that the Buddha want to get enlightened. He's shortly going to get enlightened. So he want to prevent it. He want to disturb him. So he's coming, and he start to convince the Buddha that actually, you didn't make enough parami. Why don't you go back? You will be king. You can give donation. You can build more. Something like go with the Buddha. He became friendly of the Buddha in this moment. You say, you don't have enough parami. If you go to be king, you save your life first. Otherwise, you can die. It's not good for you to die now. Huh? So, and then after this, he started to see that the Buddha not convinced. He started to attack the Buddha with a war. He started to fight with the Buddha. Okay? And then the Buddha, he win this fighting also. At the end, he said to the Buddha, he said to the Buddha, you don't have enough parami. And the Buddha is touching the ground. And he say, you don't have any witness that you have enough paramita or perfection. So the Buddha say, I have enough perfection. I give so much dana. I give so much giving. And for example, in the past life, when my last past life, I was Vesantara. Vesantara, was a prince. And this prince he liked very much to give. His name was Vesantara because he born in the market. Okay, and he was giving a lot. So the Buddha remembered his situation when he was Vesantara, and he touched the ground. He said, the ground is my witness when I give her so much water, because every time when we make dana, okay, we take water and we pull to the ground. So we give the water to the ground. Something like the Buddha said to the Mara, the earth is my witness. And then the earth say, I am your witness. What we do, this is short, I tell you the story, but this story we can read from the sutta, for example, if we read in the Sutta Nipata, in one sutta named Padana Sutta, okay, Padana Sutta, This is the sutta which is 3.2. But what happened in there, it's shortcut. It's just a mentioned shortcut about this story. What I just mentioned, same like I told you, very, very shortcut now, this story. So in the same way, it's mentioned in this sutta. But you have another sutta, which is in the Khuddaka Nikaya. This is the short suttas, okay? And in the Khuddaka Nikaya, in the Apadana, it's like stories. There it's mentioned all the stories when the Buddha get down from the mountain, when he eat the food from the woman Sushada, when he get the grass to sit meditation, when he was dreaming about this, that he's going to get enlightened. And also he's telling very, very details about the meeting between Mara and the Buddha, which we are going to read it now. So you see it in the source, what happened there in this war between Mara and the Buddha, okay? So what I do, I will share with you, maybe I share with you first this one. Okay, one moment. Yeah. First, I show you, if you want to see by yourself, also by the website, you can see this one first. After this, I will, you see, is it sharing?
No.
Not sharing. Why it's stuck? The cursor stuck? What happened? One moment. Okay. Okay. Now it's sharing. You see?
Yes.
Yeah, you see. Okay. So is it? This, you see, this is the website. It's talking. Later I will talk. You see here, this is the story starting from here. But soon I make it more clear. Just want to show you. You see also the picture. This is where Sushada gave the food. This is the Buddha. He was dreaming. Okay. So all the story is inside in the details. And this is Apadana, called Apadana 1.2. Okay, but this is not what I want to read to share with you, because it's a website with game and things like this. It's not relevant for us. So what we do, I will here, I think this one. Yeah. Okay, this one, yeah. Let's see. This one. Okay. What was that?
The enlightenment.
No, the website. Okay, maybe we just do the website. No. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Okay, maybe this one. Okay. Let's see. Okay. Sorry about all these things, huh? Yeah. Okay. Now.
Yes.
Yeah. Wonderful. So now what we are doing here, you see, this is, I took only the part which is relevant to our story. This is from the, you see, this is come from the Apadana, from the Apadana part, okay? And this is this is the enlightened part. This is from the Kudaka. Kudaka, it's short stories. Actually, it's come short, but at the end it became the biggest in the Pritipaka. But maybe Shima, you can read this. We go slowly.
The Bodhisattva made the trunk of the Bodhi tree his background, faced towards the east, and made his mind firm, saying, willingly let...
Sorry. You see, we're starting on the situations that the Buddha, he say, okay, now I'm going to do it. Okay, the Buddha decided I'm going to do it. So he's sitting under the Bodhi tree and he said, this will be my shelter from sitting, and you sit in the front, facing to the east. Okay, and you sit in lotus position. So please.
Willingly let only my skin and veins and bones remain. Let flesh and blood in my body thoroughly dry up without leaving any trace. I shall not break off this my cross-legged posture until and unless I attain my perfect enlightenment to become full Buddha.
You see, he had the full determination. He's going to make his mission now. Okay.
And sat down crossed-legged in adamantine pose, in the attitude of not admitting defeat, holding out unbroken, even with the falling of 100 thunderbolts.
Yeah. You see, now we are in a situation, the Buddha with full intention, is not a Buddha yet, it's just a Bodhisattva. It means still he have critical anger delusion, but he have all his faculties from the 10 paramita. Actually, it's 30 because it's parami, upaparami, paramata, upaparami. It means 30. This is his weapon, if we say the good weapon. Okay? And now what happened with him? What he meeting? Please.
At that time, the evil one, Mara, saying to himself, Prince Siddhartha is desirous of going beyond my influence. Now I shall not allow him to pass over my power. Went to the army of Mara, gave information of the matter, had the shout of Mara made and went out talking along with him the Mara's army. That Mara's army was 12 yojanas in front of Mara, 12 yojanas on his right as well as left.
Yojana, just to let you estimate, yojana, it's the unit in the time of the Buddha, and actually in our time it's about 7 kilometers. So it's they show how big is the army of Mara. Mara himself standing, and he has 7 kilometers here, 7 kilometers altogether, 14 kilometers from every size. 14 kilometers for the Mara in the middle, 7 kilometers for his 7. Yeah, please.
At his back, his army stood, making the border of the universe as its limit. Above him, his army was 9 yojanas high.
Yojana. Yeah.
The resounding noise of his awful army was heard beginning from a distance of 1,000 yojanas, resembling the earth rumbling sound. Then the youthful divinity Mara mounted the elephant named Girimekhala, which was 150.
You see, he have his own army, okay, and Mara, and he's sitting on the big elephant. It's called Girimekhala, okay? This is the name of the elephant. Yeah.
Which was 150 yojanas in height, created 1,000 arms as his hand and carried in them various weapons. For the remaining retinue of Mara also, no 2 individuals were identical and hold the same weapon. All the members of Mara's army were of different complexions and different varieties of faces, and they came armed with different kinds of weapons, overwhelming the bodhisattva.
Okay, sorry. We see this is actually the picture, the illustration about this. Okay, you see the Mara sitting on the elephant. Okay, Narakini. Now, just shortly, before we continue this story, I want to read from our sutta. Okay, our sutta, they say, creating a form with 1,000 arms, each equipped with a weapon. Mara on the elephant, Girimekhala. Okay, Otto the frightening roar, together with his troops. And the Lord of the Sage defeated them by the means of such quality as generosity. I told you this will be at the end of this story, what we are reading now from the Sutta. He will touch the ground and he will say, I collect a lot of merit. Okay? By the power of this, may you have victory blessing. Okay, can say, may I. Okay, but this is may you. Okay? We are talking about ourselves. So this is the illustration of what we was reading. Now we continue. You see also, sorry, let's show you this picture. It is also another illustration about all these things, but this shows what the Buddha wisdom, using the wisdom to remember the reincarnations and of the samsara. And that this one, yeah. Please.
The divinities of the 10,000 universe, Chakavala, stood reciting the praise of the great being. Saka, the king of Devas, stood sounding his most excellent victory, conch shell. It is said that the conch was as big as 2,000 cubits. Once the conch was sounded sending in his breath, it went on making noise for 4 months before it became silent. The dragon king Mahakala stood eulogizing the praise of the Bodhisattva with hundreds of words. The great Brahma stood holding a white umbrella. When, however, the Mara's army came close to the terrace of the Bodhi tree, not a single one of them was able to stay on.
You see, sorry, you see what happened? They show how Mara was so frightened that all these engines and all these Brahmas, they were so frightened for him, but they're all proud on the Buddha. How this Bodhisattva, with all this purity, how he can stand against Mara. Something that show how strong is the power of the merit or the quality of the Buddha that he could stand. Even Mara was so frightened, so like showing dangerous. Every sentence means almost a friend for him. Yeah, please.
They all fled in such a direction as they had been facing respectively. The dragon king named Kala also dived onto the earth, went to his flowery Naga mansion, 500 yojanas in extent, and lay himself down, shutting up his face with his 2 hands. Saka, king of Devas, also carried away his excellent conch of victory on his back and stood on the rim of Chakavala.
Chakavala, it means the global, all the, let's say, universe. Okay, this is Chakavala. All the universe is Chakavala. Yeah.
The great Brahma caught hold of the umbrella by its extremity and went back to his world of Brahmas only. There was not a single divinity who was able to stay on.
Oh, sorry. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The great man, however, remained seated, all alone.
Okay, you see how we show how Buddha was so strong in himself that he is the only one and no other sentient beings can stand on. Okay, yeah, please, we continue.
Mara also said to his host, "My dear fellows, There is not another man equal to Siddhartha, son of Suddhodana. We shall not be able to give him battle face to face. We shall give him battle at his back. The great man looked at his three sides and saw nothing, since all the divine beings had fled. Again, on seeing on his north side, said to himself, such a big body of troops are making mighty effort in connection with solitary me. In this place, there is no mother of mine, no father, no brother, or any other whoever is my relative. However, these 10 perfections only have been for a long time like my nourishing attendants. Therefore, I should strengthen my perfections only to their highest stage, attack this strong army with my only weapon of perfections and crush the same, and remain seated, reflecting upon his perfections.
Okay, you see what happened? This many times they say no father, no mother. Normally, when we have some difficulties, immediately we go hiding behind our father, our mother, someone taking care for us. We're looking for someone to help us. But they will say there is no one that I can really use him as someone that will help me. I must use my own 10 perfection. Actually, it's 30 perfections to overcome this Mara attraction. Yeah.
Then indeed Mara, the youthful divinity, saying to himself, I shall make Siddhartha flee by means of the whirlwind, Vatamandalam, caused the same to arise. At that very moment, winds breaking and bursting the east, etc., rose up, toppled down the top of hills, which were half a yojana, 1 yojana, 2 yojanas, and 3 yojanas high, made the forest of trees, etc., upside down, and reduced the surrounding big and small villages into small pieces and fine powder. Although the wild wind was capable
of... You see what? The first things what Mara is doing is fighting with the Buddha with the winds. He sent very, very strong winds to him. Something I want to defeat him by wind. But the Bodhisattva is not moving. Yeah, please.
Although the wild wind was capable of doing such a damage as that, the same came over to Bodhisattva without any vigor due to the power of merit of the Bodhisattva, and could not make even the fringe of Bodhisattva's robes to shake. Thereafter, Mara made a heavy downpour of rain, Mahavasam, to arise, saying to himself, I shall kill him by overwhelming him with water.
Sorry, you see, now he changed the technique. He said, wind cannot win with the wind, I will win with the rain. Okay, Vasa, you know Vasa? Vasa, it's, we have Pansa, and we should make 3 months of Vasa. So it is my Mahavasa, it means the great rain. Same word. Yeah.
On account of Mara's power higher and higher up above, rain clouds on such varieties as 100 heaps, 1,000 layers, etc., arose and poured known rain. Because of the force of rain torrent, the earth became extremely eroded, forming holes here and there. The mighty rain came over and above the forest trees, etc., but was not able to wet the robes of the great being, even to the extent of a few drops. Thereafter, Mara created a shower of rocks, Vasanavasam, blazing and fuming tops of mighty mountains and huge hills came through the sky, and as they reached the presence of Bodhisattva, they became converted into soft balls of celestial garlands.
I think you heard all these stories before. Now you see where is the source of all these things. Huh? This is mean that now he changed the technique. He see that they cannot, rain is not helping, so he sent balls. But all these things became like a flowers. You know, I think you know these stories. Maybe you heard it before, but now you can see the source. Yeah, please.
Later, Mara created a shower of attacks, flaming and fuming single way, carrying and both ways carrying swords, javelins, razors, etc. Went through the sky, reached the Bodhisattva, and became celestial flowers. Thereafter,
you know the story, huh? I think you have many times all these things. Huh? Yeah, please.
Thereafter, Mara created a shower of embers, Angaravasam. Kimsuka-colored embers came through the sky, became celestial flowers at the feet of the Bodhisattva, and scattered themselves about. Later, Mara created a shower of hot ashes, extremely hot. Fire-colored hot ashes came through the sky, fell down at the feet of the Bodhisattva.
Yeah,
and scattered themselves about. Nee, wait, sorry. Yeah.
Sorry.
After becoming sandalwood powder. Thereafter, Mara created a shower of sand, Valukavasam, flaming and fuming. Extremely fine particles of sand came through the sky and fell down at the feet of the Bodhisattva after becoming celestial flowers. Subsequently, Mara created a shower of mud, Kalalavasam. That shower of mud came fuming and flaming through the sky and fell down at the feet of the Bodhisattva after becoming celestial ointments. Finally, Mara created darkness, Arakaram, saying to himself, I shall make Siddhartha flee by frightening him with this. Resembling the darkness made up of 4 divisions, it became dangerously dense darkness, but it disappeared as if it got dispelled by the rays of the sun as it reached the Bodhisattva. In this way, that Mara, not being able to make the Bodhisattva flee with these 9 showers comprising wind, rain, rock, attacks, embers, hot ashes, sand, mud, and darkness showers, ordered his own retinue. Look here, my soldiers. You all get up. Seize, kill, and drive away this Prince Siddhartha. Mara, himself seated on the body of the elephant Girimekhala, approached the Bodhisattva, taking along with him his circling weapon, and said thus, O Siddhartha, get up from this pedestal, Palanka. This thing does not arrive here for you. It is for me that this one has come here. The great being, on hearing his words, replied, O Mara, neither have you fulfilled the 10 perfections, neither have you also made the 5 great sacrifices. Neither have you carried out practice for the benefit of relatives, nor the practice for the benefit of the world, nor the practice for the benefit of becoming Buddha. All those deeds I alone have done fully. Therefore, his Palanka arrives here, not for you, but for me alone.
You see what happened now? Something like the Mara see that he cannot defeat with all these powers, with the fighting, and Buddha just sitting. He's not moving. Nothing happened to him. So he tried to change the tactic. He said to him, you cannot achieve enlightenment because you don't have enough perfections. You didn't complete the 10 parami. Okay? You see, this is now the story we talked about before. Yeah? And then the Buddha said, you are nothing. You didn't achieve anything. You cannot say that you make offering like me, or giving or respecting like me. I collect a lot of paramita already. Yeah.
The furious Mara, not being able to bear up the force of anger, released his circling weapon towards the great man. That weapon became a ceiling of garlanded flowers and stood still over and above him, who was just reflecting upon the 10 perfections. It is said that on other occasions, that rager bearing circling weapon, when released with anger, went cutting off massively solid stone pillars as if they were top sprouts of bamboo. In this battle of Mara with the Bodhisattva, however, when it stood still after becoming a garlanded flower canopy, the remaining retinue of Mara saying to themselves, now Siddhartha will get up from the pedestal, Palanka, and run away, threw several massively big tops of rocky hills at him. They also reached the state of garlanded flower halls and fell down on the ground for the great man who was reflecting on the 10 perfections.
You see, they show how the goodness will win the bad. Whatever, doesn't matter what will be, when we develop good, we can overcome any bad things, okay? Also inside and also outside. So like the Buddha said, the best weapon, it doesn't matter what, the best weapon is this 10 perfections that I did, and nothing can really win. Yeah.
The divinities who stood on the rim of the face of Chakavala stretched their necks, lifted their heads, and looked on, saying to each other, "O friends, ruined indeed is the handsome physique of Prince Siddhartha. What indeed is he going to do?" Thereafter, the Bodhisattva saying, "The pedestal, Palanka, which used to arrive on the day of fully perfect enlightenment of Bodhisattvas who had fulfilled their perfections, does arrive for me," spoke to the standing Mara thus, "O Mara, who is your witness of the fact that you have given charity?" Mara stretched out his hand with his face directed towards his army and replied, "So many of these divine beings are my witnesses." At that moment, the sound brought about by Mara retinue in making their statements, "I am your witness," was like the rumbling sound of the earth. Then Mara spoke to the great man thus, "O Siddhartha, who is your witness to certify the charity given by you?" The great man responded thus, "Now for your charity that was given, your witnesses are animate. In this place, however, I have not a single living witness, namely to sight. For the time being, leave alone the charity given by me in my other remaining existences. When, however, I stood in the existence of Visantara and offered charity."
Or you see, the Buddha asked him, "Who is your witness?" He said, "This army is my witness." And then that he asked the Mara, "Who is your witness? You make charity and things like this." So the Buddha said, "Actually, all this army, all these people holding weapon or whatever, they are my witness." So the Buddha said, all of them, they are just warrior, okay? And then Mara says, "So who is your witness?" And in this moment, the heart say, I am your witness. Okay, this is the moment when it's a very famous story that the Buddha touching the ground. Now you are reading it. Yeah.
And offered charity then, this solid earth, lifeless though it is, constitutes any witness. So saying, he brought out his right hand from within the enclosure of his robes and stretched it but towards the great earth, saying, "Are you my witness or not of the fact that when I stood in the existence of Visantara..."
Sorry, I just want to remind you, Visantara, it's mean the past life of the Buddha. When he was Bodhisattva, he was just Visantara, it's mean the one that was born in that he get birth in the market. He was a prince. His name was Visantara. This is the last story. It's mentioned in the Jataka, in the past life story of the Buddha. It's mentioned there. It's long story. And there the Buddha, or Bodhisattva, his name was Visantara, and he gave a lot of charity, So this is what we're talking about. Remember, in his past life, the last life before he became. And this is just the one life. I'm not talking about all the other past lives. Yeah.
I gave a colossal charity, 700 categories of 700 gifts. The great earth resounded, saying, I was then your witness, with 100 rumbles, 1,000 rumbles, and 100,000 rumbles, or crying aloud, as if scattering away the army of Mara.
Sorry, and this is, okay.
Thereafter, while the great man was meditating upon the charity of Visantara as Siddhartha, the colossal charity given by you is the most excellent offering. The elephant Girimekhala, as big as 150 yojanas, fell on its knees on the ground. The retinue of Mara fled in all the 4 directions and 4 intermediate points of compass. There was no such thing as 2 of them going by one in the same route. Casting off their headdresses as well as clothes in which they were dressed, they all fled in the direction towards which they were individually facing. Thereafter, the congregation of celestial beings, on seeing the army of Mara, had occurred. The victory of Prince Siddhartha has come about. We shall do honor to his victory. So saying, divinities announced to their fellow divinities, dragons to their fellow dragons, the Guradas to their fellow Guradas, Brahmas to their fellow Brahmas, and they all came over the presence of the great man on the Bodhi Palanka, holding in their hands perfumes, flower garlands, etc.
Okay, this is actually, here there is the song about this to show. The final song about this. We just read this song and finish. Yeah. Yeah.
When, however, they had gone thus, indeed, this is the victory of Buddha, possessor of auspicious glory. This is also the defeat of Mara, the evil one at that time. The gladdened congregation of divinities announced the victory of the great sage at the terrace of the Bodhi tree. The gladdened crowns of dragons, Nagas, also then announced the victory of the great sage at the terrace of the Bodhi tree. This indeed is the victory of the glorious Buddha. This also is the defeat of Mara, the evil one. The gladdened group of Garudas also at that time announced the victory of the great sage at the terrace of the Bodhi tree. This indeed is the victory of the glorious Buddha. This also is the defeat of Mara, the evil one. The gladdened group of Garudas also at that time announced the victory of the great sage at the terrace of the Bodhi tree. This indeed is the victory of the glorious Buddha. This also is the defeat of Mara, the evil one. The gladdened group of Brahmas also at that time announced the victory of the great sage at the terrace of the...
Okay, this is just, okay, this is just repeating. But you see that actually in this moment, when after the help say to Mara that that I am the witness, and Mara he realized about all the faculties that the Buddha he built, so he go away with all his army and all the angels, okay, all the sentient beings. From all the worlds they come and they praise the Buddha. So in this moment, this is the moment when you see the, sorry, this is the final, okay, that we talk about. But you see here the picture that illustrates these things. It's here when this is Mara, want to attack the Buddha. The Buddha touching the ground, asking the ground, "Are you my witness?" And this is the God of the health, which is presented by something like give water to the rivers. And every time, like I remind you that people they give. They make marriage and the man give them blessing. So they take the water and they pull it to the ground. So something like the earth know how much water I give to her when I make the beauty. So this is the story in details about Mara, the Buddha defeat Mara just soon before he get enlightened. I want to complete it only with short things just to mention that when we talk about the word Mara, according to Buddhism, I can stop sharing. Thank you, Shima. And we talk about Mara. You can hear about the word Mara different to the expression. One thing, it's what we just reading now about. It's called Mara Devaputa. This is kind of angels. If you remember when we was chanting about the turning the wheels of Dhamma, it's in the word which is called Paranimita Wasawati. So Mara is staying Paranimita Wasawati. He like to control others. So one thing is that he had habit to block us to go to Nirvana, to stay, because he like to control us. So he don't want us to go to Nirvana. So that's why he tried to prevent the Buddha. He's very clever. Actually, officially, they are good. That's why they became angels. But this is his quality. They're practicing strong concentration as a human being. When they're reborn, they became like a kind of God. So this is called Paranimita Wasawati. And then their title, like we are human beings. So they are Mara. They are kind of called Devaputa. It's mean kind of angels. This is the one that was talking to the Buddha, fighting with the Buddha at that time when the Buddha defeated him. But you have another 4 kind of descriptions of Mara, which is things that want to block us to go. They are blocking us to go to Nirvana. One of them is Kilesa. It means 10 fetters, 10 things that ignorance. Okay, this is also we can say Mara. Another kind of Mara, it's the Kanda. It means body, the feeling, the memory. This is also blocking us for Nirvana. We have attachment to them. And then this is called Kanda Mara. This is the 5 aggregate, what you say. The 4th one, it's called Abhisankara Karma, which is the volition actions. This is the karma, the good karma and bad karma, which also they will stop us to go to Nirvana because they are creating us continuously to run into the samsara because we're producing karma. And the last time things it's called matcha, which is matcha, it's the death. We die. So when we die, we cannot practice anymore. So it brings us reincarnations. So this is 5 kinds of Mara, what we normally they say when we talk about Mara. So we talk about the things which is block us to go to Nirvana or keep us in the samsara, which have 5 descriptions. So if you hear Mara, sometimes Buddha, you don't think Buddha have a doubt. When Mara come to say to the Buddha, you don't have enough faculties, or it's not in the Buddha have doubt in this moment. This is the ancients Mara come and talk to the Buddha. But if sometimes we sit and we have a doubt, so maybe we have this Mara as a conditions, kilesa for ignorance for ourselves. Okay, so it's depend on what you mean when you say Mara. You have 5 kinds of definitions to the Mara. Like I say, Mara angels, Mara kilesa, ignorant, Mara kanda, which is the 5 aggregate. Mara, it's the karma, good karma, bad karma, and Mara, it's the damage. So I think we talk enough about this fighting with Mara, and you see more about the story. Maybe many times you was hearing different kind of things about this story, but now you can see more details and the real source of the knowledge of it. Okay. Anyone have questions? Next time we talk about the next verses. Now it's already after 9:30 in Israel. But anyway, if anyone has a question about this. Please don't be shy. Good. So if no questions, so we pay respect one more time to the Buddha. Arahang Sama Sambuddho Bhagava Bhutan Bhagavantan Abhivade Sawagato Bhagavatam Dhammo Dhamman Namasami Supatipanno Bhagavato Savaka Sangho Sankannami. Thank you very much. Good night. And Happy New Year.
Sadhu, sadhu.
See you in the next year.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ima.
You're welcome. Bye-bye.
Bye.
יפה, אג'רן, תודה רבה. תודה רבה רבה. מה? מסתובבת חרדה כל היום. בדיוק, מה זה חשוב? כל היום בלחץ. איזה זה? היה פוצן? מה, היא כל כך נבהלה ממנו שהיא הפעילה אותו? הוא היה פה? וואו, זה כמעט בעלה. מה, אתה ממש יפה להסתכל עליו. יש עכשיו להתקרבות של כלבת, אני אמרתי יש עכשיו התפרצויות של כלבת, זה לא אומר שהוא כלבת, אבל למה לתנים ספציפיים? יש, ואז שהם מתקרבים מדי לבתים, זה יכול להיות גם שמתקרבים כלבת, כי עד עכשיו אין פחד. כן.